Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to discuss about CSIR NET GRF Chemical Science, June 2015, Part C, Series 3. Earlier, we completed 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20 of June and December question papers of Chemical Sciences, CSIR NET GRF June as well as December question papers have been completed. All these solved question papers are available on the channel called World of Competitive Chemistry. This kind of standard question paper discussion will help you for further preparation and the standard of the question, from which region, what is the weightage of the question. And if you have a thirst of research, and it is a better option to choose this CSIR NET GRF Chemical Science. Okay, so hope it will be helpful for you for entrance examinations and competitive exams as well. So let us enter into our today's topic. Here is the CSIR NET GRF Chemical Science, June 2015, Part C, Series 3 consists of question number 91 to 100. We are going to discuss about 10 questions of this Part C of June 2015, right? So most of the answers are picked from the source called the Kailash Institute of Medical Science. So thank you very much for your support to extend this question paper now. Thank you. And question number 91, with respect to sigma and pi bonding in platinum triple bond in the structure given below, which of the following represent the correct bonding? Here is the compound platinum triphenylphosphine. This triphenylphosphine compound is there, and one of the bond is associated with a carbon-carbon triple bond called astellinic bond. Whenever this type of compound is there, here there is a possibility of sigma bond. Pi bonding is there in between platinum and bond. So only one bond is there, you can assume sigma bond. Along with the sigma bond, in either any multiple bonds are there, you can clearly say there is a possibility of pi bond, which is found by lateral overlapping, right? So in this sigma and pi bonding is given here in the structure given below. Which of the following represent the correct bonding? What kind of bonding is observed in between? Definitely, whenever ligand is there with the central metal, there is a possibility of ligand to metal coordinate covalent bond. That will be the sigma bond formation is possible. And in case of this platinum, being it is the kind of square planar, platinum palladium complexes most obviously exist in what kind? Square planar complexes, right? And the central metal is attributed with the electron deficiency. That's the reason why metal to ligand charge transfer transition reaction is also possible. Being it is the pi bond formation, there is a possibility of pi to pi star transition from metal to ligand called metal to ligand charge transfer transition. And sigma bond, definitely there is a possibility of ligand pi orbitals can be transformed into sigma orbitals of the central metal. Let us discuss in detail about this kind of bonding between platinum and the astellinic bond. Primarily, difference bonding between alkene and alkyne. Alkyne can either 2 or 4 electron. So either only one bond will participate or 2 bonds will be participated. There are multiple bonds. In case of triple bond, we have so many options for that. But in case of double bond, only the possibility of 2 electron donor. But here we have 2 electron or 4 electron donation is possible. Recall that alkyne have 2 sets of mutually orthogonal pi bonds. So 2 sets. So 1 pi bond, second pi bond. So 2 pi bonds are available on this astellinic bond. You can bind one of these transition metal with a sigma type of fashion. So one of the bond is formed by sigma. So that is denoted with ligand pi orbital will contribute towards metal with a sigma bond formation, right? That is the one bond we are expecting. Orthogonal set can also bind with a pi type of fashion, orthogonal metal orbital. So pi orbital of metal will bind to ligand pi star. That means antibonding orbital. There is a possibility of metal to ligand bond. That is clearly depicted in these options, where MTD orbital initially sigma bond formation will be facilitated in this manner. How sigma bond formation? Sigma metal is associated with 4 bonds around that, and here we have carbon-carbon astellinic triple bond. There is a possibility of MTD orbitals able to form sigma with astellinic triple bond, where pi electrons will be participated in bond formation. Here electrons being filled, right? So here the formation of MTD orbital filled astellinic pi orbital bond formation is possible for sigma bond formation, which is provided in option number 4. And the next is in the similar manner antibonding. So similar sign bonding Opposite sign, antibonding. Same can be attributed with antibonding molecular orbital also. We can take a vice versa of this one. No need to go with this. Just a reciprocal of this one can be taken, which is called antibonding. And one more is, there is a possibility of metal to ligand bond formation, being the orbitals of metal will participate in what carbon-carbon single bond, carbon-carbon bond, where empty state will be there and filled d orbital will participate in the pi bond formation. That is given in the option number 4. So here for question number 91, option number 4 is the correct answer, right? Here, platinum able to form a bond with the acetylenic bond. There is a possibility of pi to sigma donation from ligand to metal, pi to pi star donation from metal to ligand. Both the possibilities are present here, right? For question number 92, it is a part of inorganic chemistry again, right? Here, CFAC, crystal field stabilization energy, is given here, right? The complex iron FeN taken twice, phenyl group taken twice. So 2 phenyl ligands are present. NCA is called thiocyanate. How many are there? 2, twice. Then FeN denotes what? 1, 10 phenanthroline. Here, phenanthroline, it is a polycyclic aromatic ring system, right? Tricyclic. So here, 110 phenanthroline was taken as a FeN. How many are there? 2 are there. Shows a spin crossover behavior. CFAC and mu effective. CFAC is nothing but crystal field stabilization energy, that is 250, and mu effective is given as 150 respectively. Sorry, at 250 and 150 Kelvin. We have to calculate crystal field stabilization energy and mu effective, magnetic moment effective, at 2 different temperatures. What are the temperatures? 250 and 150 Kelvin temperature were provided. As the temperature changes, what happens? There is a change in the magnitude of magnetic moment and CFAC both, right? Now, let us go with one by one. We are taking the compound at 250 as well as 150. When spin crossover is considered, that is the phenomenon occurs metal complex wherein spin state of complex changes due to the internal stimuli, variation of temperature, pressure, light irradiation, influence of the magnetic field. So spin crossover is nothing but change in the spin of electrons are possible whenever we are changing the variables. What are the variables? Either temperature, pressure, or light. Any variable can be changed here. Here we are going to apply temperature because within the problem 2 temperature conditions are provided. One is 250, second is 150. So spin crossover kind of reaction is possible in this molecule, right? So at high temperature, low spin complex especially, iron get enough energy to make transition and switch to high spin complex. Initially, it is low spin. Whenever energy is applied, low spin means all the electrons got paid. Upon giving energy, electrons got excited so that it converted into high spin. This is called spin crossover. By rising temperature, low spin turned into high spin, right? So CFAC of iron D6 system, iron being D6 system, whose CFAC will be calculated at low temperature. Yes, thank you. So when we are going to calculate what CFAC value for D6 system of low spin, D6 in the sense when we are considering octahedral complex, T2G6 electrons will be there and EG orbital at that state. So at that state, EG orbital will be empty when we are taking low spin complex, right? When we are rising temperature, it will become electrons. 6 electrons can occupy 3 electrons in T2G and 2 electrons enters into EG, and the 6th electron enters into T2G orbital, right? So after calculating CFAC, it is taken as 2.4 delta O, right? So here T2G6 will be taken. So T2G6. So this is the kind of calculation when it is possible when low spin complex is there. Means all the electrons occupied in T2G6 only. T2G6 was taken. So what is the electron stabilization when that entered into T2G orbital? Each electron addition will add +4 energy, +4 delta O energy will be added. How many are there? 6 electrons are there. 6 into 4, it will be 2.4 delta O, right? So it will become 2.4 delta O CFAC value for iron D6 system, right? So when we are taking mu effective, how can we calculate mu value or magnetic moment? Whenever odd electrons or unpaired electrons are present, then only you can attribute to magnetic moment. But within the system, being 3 orbitals, T2G triply degenerated 3 orbitals occupied by 6 electrons, completely filled state is there. If completely filled state is there, what will be the magnetic moment? It will become 0. 0 unpaired electrons, hence 0 magnetic moment value will be there. Similarly, we can calculate for high spin complex. For high spin complex, how it will be calculated? Electrons will enter into higher Eg, right? Higher Eg orbital electrons will be occupied. Only option number 3 is having that nature. I calculated for low spin at the low temperature. After rising temperature, it will be shifted. So at a low temperature, 0 magnetic moment will be there. By rising temperature, that will become high spin. So here, where the temperature is given, 250 is given first. That means higher temperature is given first. That means high spin should be calculated first. And low spin should be calculated at 150 Kelvin because lower temperature. Among 250 and 150, which is higher? 250 is higher. So that high spin complex at 250, low spin complex at 150. We calculated for low spin, right? How much it will be low spin complex? 2.4 and 0. So that is the second temperature, which is provided in here. 2.4, 0.00 Bohr magnetons, which are provided in option number 1. And even option number 4 also, 2.4 delta O and at 0.00 Bohr magnetons are provided. Then, in order to avoid the ambiguity, we have to calculate at 250 Kelvin also. That is, calculate for 250. So, for 250 Kelvin, what will be the origination? What will be the contribution of electrons? Electrons will be contributed 4 in T2G, 2 in Eg, right? How many odd electrons will be there? How many odd electrons? Odd electrons, sir. Here, one of the orbital is paired and remaining 2 are there. Here, 2 are there. 4 point something, 4.9 Bohr magnetons will be given here because 4 unpaired electrons we have here. 2 unpaired electrons in T2G, 2 unpaired electrons in Eg. Hence, mu effective, just write this, mu effective can be calculated as 4.9. Why it became 4.9? Since we have 4 unpaired electrons. 4 unpaired electrons are there. That's why that value becomes 4.9. That is given in the option number 1. So even in the option number 2, it is option number 4, it is given. Only the requirement is calculation of this first one. Which one? CFAC should be calculated. Let us calculate CFAC value. CFAC value 4 into 4. So T2G orbital energy contribution will be T2G orbital energy contribution will be 4 into 4. 16 it will be. Eg orbital energy contribution will be, how many electrons are there? 2 electrons are there. Each electron corresponded with 6 energy is equal to 12, right? So here we have to subtract because here minus 6 is there. The value becomes minus 12. So here 16 plus minus 12. Then what is the difference? It will be minus 4. It will be minus 4. So CFSE is equal to T2G plus Eg orbital energy. That is given as 16 plus minus 12 is equal to 0.4. This is the CFSE value calculation and it is only provided in option number 1. Here it given as 1.2, that is not correct. Remaining all 3 are exactly same in option number 1 and 4, only delta O value of this high temperature condition is different. So in this way, spin crossover is able to explain this problem. What is meant by spin crossover? So spin crossover is nothing but spin parity will be varied by changing the variables like temperature, pressure or light condition. Within the problem, they mentioned change in the temperature. When temperature changes, if initially it is high spin, it will become low spin. Initially low spin, finally it becomes high spin. That is said to be spin crossover, right? So high temperature, high spin, low temperature, low spin, so that we calculated for both the temperature regions. It is satisfying option number 1. For question number 92, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 93. Consider the following statements with respect to uranium. It is a kind of uranium, all related with uranium, being it is an actinide, F block element, and what are the statements correct we have to depict. UO2 positive disproportionate more easily than UO2 dipositive, right? So UO2 positive disproportionation. What is meant by disproportionation? One of the oxidation state can be transformed into its higher as well as its lower simultaneously within the single reaction. If you are taking zero oxidation state, that will be raised in one case into +1, for example, and also lowered as -1. So in that -1, 0, +1, 3 are available simultaneously, that is said to be disproportionation. So UO2 participate in disproportionation in the higher extent when compared to UO2 dipositive. This is the correct statement. U3O8 is most stable oxide of uranium. This is also correct answer. Octa oxide. It is not, it is octa oxide. Octa oxide of uranium is the most stable oxide. Coordination number of uranium in this complex will be 6. How can we predict the coordination number? What is meant by coordination number? Coordination number is nothing but number of ligands present around the central metal is called the coordination number. Let us see uranium surrounded with O2 means molecular oxygen. Here NO3 taken twice. So nitrate ligands are 2. Aquo, how many are there? 2 aquo ligands are there. So 2 + 2, 4 + 2, 6 it will be, right? So here, and 4 water will be there outside. 4 water will be there outside. That water will not contribute. Only the ligands which are present inside the coordination sphere contribute. Inside the coordination sphere contributes coordination number, but not outside. So this 4 water molecule will not impact any coordination number, right? So, and next is about uranium O2 positive is a linear molecule. Uranium O2 positive is a linear molecule is also correct statement. Let us depict which are the correct statements, which are the wrong statements. Okay, first one, uranium O2 disproportionate more easily than uranium O2 dipositive. This is the correct statement. U3O8 is the most stable. Octaoxide is the most stable oxide of uranium. This is also correct. But statement C is wrong. Why? Because nitrate in the higher, that means a larger nucleus, that nitrate will become bidentate instead of monodentate. Since it is a bidentate, you can assume 4 here coordination. Number will be 4 for nitrate. O2 will give 2. And here water 2. 2 + 2, 4. 4 + 4, 8 rather than 6. So option C is the wrong one. UO2 dipositive is a linear. This is the correct statement only. A, B, D are the correct statements that is provided in option number 1. For question number 93, option number 1 is the correct answer. All these are the properties of actinides. These are the common properties, not only for uranium. You can apply, you can extend these properties to remaining actinide element also. That means 4F followed by 5F. 5F series is called actinide, right? So to all these actinide elements, you can extend all these properties, right? So that is provided in the textbook called Complex of Actinide Elements by Greenwood. This is a reference textbook. You can go with any further information if you require, right? For question number 94, let us see. Question number 94 is the part of organic chemistry where we are taking triple bond, acetylenic bond, and the carbon dioxide was taken. And here the what we can say PR3 taken twice, nickel 1,5 cyclooctadiene. So it is a nickel complex. Then finally we got pyranodine with the cyclic lactone. This is said to be a cyclic lactone, right? So here we have 4 ethyl groups on the all carbon atoms present in the ring system. It is a 6-membered heterocyclic ring with the lactone. Lactone is nothing but cyclic ester. So what will be the process and what name we have to assign for this one? So let us see what are the correct answers for this. Alkynes can be coupled with the carbon dioxide to give unsaturated metallolactones. These compounds are involved in the synthesis of alpha pyrone. This is called a pyrone. So this is called a pyrone ring, right? So this is proceeded with 2 + 2 + 2 cycloaddition. How can we say 2 + 2 + 2? 2 electrons contributed by this acetylene, 2 electrons contributed by this carbon dioxide, more 2 electrons contributed by this nickel complex. Simply you can say 2 + 2 + 2 complex, right? And one more thing is insertion of any other alkyne leads to 7-membered metallo cycle, which undergoes reductive elimination of alpha pyrone. Reductive elimination of alpha pyrone is possible, right? Let us see which are correct. Insertion of carbon dioxide is correct. Insertion of acetylenic bond is also correct. This reaction is proceeded with insertion reaction. Nickel complex is inserted with this carbon dioxide, and even this acetylenic bond, it will be inserted. Insertion reaction leads to form this cyclic lactone. This is a kind of 2 + 2 + 2 cycloaddition. So these two options are correct. These two options are correct. Option number B and C. This is a part of insertion rather than combination, right? So for question number 94, B, C are provided in option number 2. So 94, option number 2 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 95. Consider the following statements for NH4 taken twice, cerium, NH3 taken 6. This is called ceric ammonium nitrate. This is a compound most important in oxidizing. It is the most important oxidizing agent called CAN. Ceric ammonium nitrate is called CAN, CAN. Okay. So the ceric ammonium nitrate, what are the correct statements we have to depict? What kind of compound it is? It is a kind of lanthanide. Cerium is a starting element of lanthanide series, right? Let us see what are the correct statements here. For that purpose, here we have the complex structure. Cerium surrounded with nitro-functional groups. Here you can clearly depict lanthanides being, these are the larger nucleus. Here nitrate functional group working like a bidentate rather than monodentate. With the transition metal and main group elements, NO3- will be a monodentate. But A block elements, it will be the bidentate. That will be the exceptional case. Here you can clearly observe cerium surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bonds. With the oxygens of nitrates, 12 bonds of oxygens of nitrates, so that coordination number, what it will be? It will be 12. Coordination number will be 12, right? And what will be the nature? Z is paramagnetic. The ceric ammonium nitrate paramagnetic or diamagnetic? Ceric ammonium nitrate called CAN, CAN is the with the molecular formula NH4 taken twice, CnO3 taken 6. This orange red color compound, water soluble and specialized oxidizing agents and synthesis of for quantitative analysis. It is a synthetic equivalent of quantitative analysis. Then what about this magnetic nature? What is the oxidation state of cerium here? Cerium exists in +4 state because each ammonia contribute +1, right? So here +2 charge is there and the nitrate will contribute -1. Total +4 charge is there on the cerium, and +4 charge is there. 2 s electrons, 1 d electron, 1 f electron. All the electrons present in the cerium will be discarded. It will become F0 system. No electrons are present. How can we say it is paramagnetic? No possibility. So option B is not a correct statement. Z is oxidizing agent. It is the correct statement. How it can be? +4 always having strong tendency to attain the electrons. Being it is taking electrons, it will oxidize some other because it is pulling electrons from some other, so that another compound will be oxidized. So ceric ammonium nitrate working like a oxidizing agent. So this is the correct statement. Reaction with PH3PO with Z gives rise to a complex having coordination number 10 for cerium. So this ceric ammonium nitrate, upon treating with the triphenyl phosphone, this is said to be triphenyl phosphone. What happened? It's a coordination number 12 initially. Now it will be reduced to 10. This is also the correct statement. Except option number B, A, C, D are correct, which are provided in option number option number 4. For question number 95, option number 4 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 96. Again, it is a part of organic chemistry. We have Narbonne ketone system, right? So where we have carboxylic acid, methyl, bridgehead methyl is also there. thionyl chloride is provided. What is the purpose of thionyl chloride? Wherever acid is there, that turned into acid chloride. Azide is there. What azide will do? That used to convert this acid chloride into acid azide. Then it is a part of Schmidt reaction, right? So here potassium tertiary butoxide and water will be added. Then what is the final product we have to depict? For that purpose, here is the reaction mechanism. Sequence of reactions are given. We are taking carboxylic acid initially, nar-bornene system, nar-borna ketone system with the carboxylic acid on the bridgehead carbon, right? So now thionyl chloride, being it is a chlorinating agent, it will transform carboxylic acid into acid chloride. Further, acid azide will be, sodium azide will be added. Sodium azide used to give N3 minus. That will be nucleophilically substituted with chloro. It turned into acid azide. Acid azide is highly unstable and easily removes this nitrogen. We will get nitrine intermediate. Nitrine intermediate is the key intermediate in Schmidt reaction, right? It can be transformed. Alkyl group will be shifted. Entire alkyl group will be shifted to nitrogen. This is called thiocyanate. So nitrine transformed into thiocyanate. This is another intermediate, stable intermediate, which we obtained in this Schmidt reaction. This will be further treated with base. What base will do? Ketone is there. Ketone adjacent position is more acidic. Since it is a more acidic position, alpha carbon is a more acidic, right? Alpha carbon is more acidic. Here the generation of carbene is possible. This carbene will participate in the resonance. So enolic form is possible. Oxide will be generated. Generated oxide can be resonance delocalized. Then this carbene will bind to this intermediate called N double bond C double bond O. So there is a bond formation. So here already we have bicyclic ring. It turned into a tricyclic ring system. Now it is added with water. Being water is a nucleophile, electrons and the oxygen will bound to carbonyl group, right? Now it binded to carbonyl group so that OH will be attached here. Subsequently, it used to transform into carboxylic acid by ring opening reaction. Ring opening reaction got carried and we got the final product, that is ring opening reaction, that is provided in the option number 3. Here is the carboxylic acid. Here is the amide, cyclic amide, right? Cyclic amide is there. Cyclic amide is called lactam. Cyclic ester is called lactone. Cyclic amide is called lactam. This kind of lactam system of 2 5-membered rings are generated. Here you can clearly observe. This is one 5-membered ring. This is another 5-membered ring with the terminal COOH and C double bond ONH functional groups in this ring, right? So that is provided in option number 3. So 5-membered ring systems only available in option number 3 and 4. But stereochemistry matters. Here, stereochemistry of carboxylic acid will be towards Weir. That is available in option number 3. For question number 96, option number 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 97. We are taking halobenzene. This is called halobenzene. Now we are having R group as a methyl treated with sodamide liquid ammonia. Sodamide liquid ammonia reaction is proceeded with benzyne mechanism. The combination of sodamide liquid ammonia is a better reagent for benzyne mechanism. Benzyne mechanism always proceeded with mixture of 2 products. But whenever R group is taken as OH, only one possibility will be there, being it will be the stereoselective reaction. It will give only one product. So that is driven by the nature of R group here. R group methyl electron donating, R group OH again electron donating only. But there is a different stereochemistry will play. Methyl is a hyperconjugative stabilized, OH will be lone pair of electrons plus a affecting group it is, right? In both the cases, sodamide liquid ammonia are provided. That means both the mechanism proceeded with benzyne itself, but another substitution present on that will change the stereochemistry of the compound. Let us discuss in detail. Reaction proceed by benzyne ideally, or group B minus M affecting so that minus M nucleophilic attack both the ipso and ardo position, ratio of 1:1. But in presence of plus M affecting group like OH being it is plus M affecting plus mesomeric affecting group, electron density will highly present at ardo at para position. So that substitution takes place preferentially at meta position. Here it is very clear that electron donation is possible here. When electrons released by OH, that will increase the electron density at orthopara positions. Means orthopara, that means second and fourth position became more electron dense. But what we are adding? We are adding nucleophile rather than electrophile, right? So if nucleophile added, we need electron deficiency. That is only available only in the a meta position in case of R is equal to H. Here, what parameter will play? Mesomeric effect of OH, being it is electron releasing, so that orthopara positions are electron rich. So it is suitable for electrophilic substitution. But we are applying sodamide and liquid ammonia. This will facilitate nucleophilic substitution. Preferentially electron deficiency is required. That is only available on the meta position. So meta position electron deficiency for compound number A, that is provided in meta position. Option A, option B, para position not correct. Option C, para position not correct. Option D, meta position, there is a possibility. Either option 1 or 4 are correct. But let us go with this one, methyl. So methyl hyperconjugation, when compared to mesomeric, hyperconjugation is least preferable, weak effect. So that pure benzyne mechanism will be proceeded here, and we will get mixture of two products. Benzyne mechanism will give equivalent to 1:1 ratio 2 products. In option number 4, only 1 is given, that is again meta. So may not be possible. So if we consider it is plus M, then only it is possible to get meta. But if we consider mechanism of benzyne, that is possible mixture of 2 products. So compound B is proceeded with benzyne mechanism. Compound A is proceeded with nucleophilic substitution reaction. For question number 97, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 98. It is a kind of terpene system, natural products, organic chemistry. Now let us discuss what is the reaction. The major product formed in the reaction will be, we are taking a terpene with a double bond. Here CH3CH, OAC, acetate group is there, and here alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl group is there. It is treated with paratosyl hydrazine. Paratosyl hydrazine in the presence of mild acid called acetic acid. Sodium borohydride cyanide will be added. It is a mild reducing agent. Mild reducing agent selective for only carbonyl rather than ester. Here we have ester and carbonyl both, but sodium borohydride selective for ketonic reduction but not ester reduction. Let us see what is the mechanism and what will be proceed. Alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, reaction of tosyl hydrazine accompanied by the migration of double bond. Thus cinnamaldehyde tosyl hydrazine will be generated. Cinnamaldehyde tosyl hydrazine. Then 3-phenyl propene will be generated. Now ketone gives the alkene. Ketone gives rise to alkene. The mechanism reaction involves iminium ion, tosyl hydrazine, elimination of paratoluene sulfonic acid. Subsequently, 1,5 sigma tropic shift is possible and loss of nitrogen is also possible. Alkene will be generated. Let us see the detailed mechanism. Paratosyl hydrazine. What is the nature? It is a capping agent for ketone. It will condense with ketonic functional group. We will get hydrazone derivative. That hydrazone derivative, upon treating with this sodium hydroxide, what happens? It will participate in sigma-tropic rearrangement. What sigma-tropic? 1,5 sigma-tropic rearrangement is possible. Subsequently, we will get the product of 3. Product of 3 will be obtained, right? So here, that entire group will be discarded. Being tosyl hydrazide is a better leaving group, the entire group will be discarded and we will get the terminal alkene at these 2 positions. That is provided in option number 3. Let us discuss one more time. We are taking this compound and it is treated with paratoluene hydrazine. Paratoluene hydrazine will cap this one, condense with this functional group. Later, sigma-tropic rearrangement between this first position with the 5th position is possible. So after shifting here, sodium borohydride better reducing agent, that will discard the entire system, that tosyl hydrazine system, being it is a better leaving group, that will be discarded. Only the part left is this terminal olefinic bond. That is given in option number 3. For question number 98, option number 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 99. The major product A and B in the following reaction. We are taking amine with alpha beta. Beta keto amine was given, and this is called alpha keto diester. This is beta keto amine. This is called alpha keto diester. In the presence of aqueous KOH room temperature, A will be generated, and aqueous KOH reflex conditions, B will be generated. So here, what is the difference? Room temperature is one condition. Reflex condition, that means higher temperature. At its boiling point, we are rising the temperature. Only temperature variation is there. A can be transformed into B. This is a kind of system called Palnar. Palnar reaction is a 1,4-diketone can be treated with any amine so that there is a formation of cyclic 5-membered pyrrole ring formation is possible if we are having amine. So here pyrrole ring is available in all the cases. So it is a kind of Palnar synthesis. Let us go with. It is a Palnar synthesis which condensation primary amine with the 1,4-diketone to gives rise to pyrrole ring. So exact structure will be, because it is available on this. So here it is in the COOET compound number A will be generated, and compound number A will be generated. Simple cyclization. 1,4-diketone is treated with primary amine. So simple cyclization reaction got carried. And further, we subjected to reflux, means higher temperature heating. Upon higher heating, one of the ester group is decarboxylated. Decarboxylated leads to form that unsubstituted carbonate second position, being it is sterically hindered because two ester groups and the adjacent carbons are highly unfavorable, so that upon heating decarboxylation will be favored. So specifically, the ester group near to nitrogen will be decarboxylated, so that unsubstituted second position, and we have ester group at third and one more methyl also present at which position? 1, 2, 3, fourth position. So for question number 99, option number 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 100, last question of the series. The major product formed in the following reaction. We are taking paramethoxy, what we can say? Enol, enolic system it is. It is a tautomeric form of ketone. Ketoenol tautomerized structure was given. Now it is treated with 0.5 equivalence of PHCMe2OOH, 1.0 equivalence of titanium isopropoxide, and 1.2 ethyl tartarate, CH2Cl2 minus 20 degrees centigrade. All these are the reagents for sharp epoxidation, right? Titanium tetraisopropoxide, DEPT, and also this. All these are the reagents. What is the reagent? This is the peroxy acid. Peroxy acid will impart oxygen, which will release the nascent oxygen which used to form the epoxide. So this will release oxygen, and the titanium isopropyl that will the transition metal complex catalyst. Then 1.2 equivalents of DIPT. This is a stereo selective reagent where if you are taking minus DEPT, one kind of stereochemistry, plus DEPT, another kind of stereochemistry will be imparted. This is the driving force for stereochemistry of epoxide which is formed. And finally, it is treated with CH2 Cl2 minus 20 degrees, then final product. What is the final product? We have to get it. For that purpose, we are taking initially enolic form. Upon treating with all these reagents, minus DEPT is stereo selective for epoxide of back end. Always epoxide will be generated on the back end. That is only provided in the option number. That is only provided in the option number 1. So even in the option number 3, we have that, but upon further hydrolysis, ring opening is carried and the OH group stereochemistry will be varied. So that will be retention is possible in case of option number 3. So that we can discard option number 3. Only the possible answer will be option number 1. This is purely explained by the named reaction called as Sharpless asymmetric epoxidation. Wherever olefinic double bond is present at that position, epoxidation, that oxygen will be liberated by this peroxide, right? So here titanium complex is a catalyst and DEPT will be the stereoselective reagent. Minus DEPT will form the epoxide bucket, right? So upon further subsequent hydrolysis, ring opening and compound B will be OH group at a back end. So that is given in option number 1. For question number 100, option number 1 is the correct answer. By this, we entirely completed this series 3 consisting questions from 91 to 100. Hope it will be very much helpful for your further preparation. Thank you very much for your consistent listening. Thank you one and all.